Hey everyone, and welcome back to BMX News. This is a weekly BMX news show where I talk about everything that happened in the previous week within the world of BMX that I think you guys might care about. That being said, let's get right on into everything I want to talk about this week that I think you might care about. The first thing that I want to talk about and give kind of a shout out to is all of the women riders in BMX who are killing it lately. The reason that I'm bringing this up is because Kink brought on Anahi, Arevalo, I hope I said that right, to their AM team this week, and it kind of got me thinking, and if you pay attention, there is a women rider for most of the big brands and companies within BMX. Just to name off a few, we've got Charlotte Worthington, who rides for Tall Order. She's on the British cycling team. Hannah Roberts, who obviously wins most of the FISE stops and all of these things. Angie Marino, who's riding for Cult. She's on the USA cycling team. Elizabeth Lizard BMX, over 100,000 followers on Instagram. She rides for Total, KHE, and Vans Russia. Not to mention that all of these people are from all over the world. Charlotte is from England, obviously being on the British cycling team. Hannah Roberts is from here in the United States. Anahi, she's from Ecuador. Then we've got Angie, obviously from the United States, but the West Coast, whereas Hannah Roberts is from Indiana, which is in the Midwest. And we've got Nikita DeCaros, who lives in the US, but she rides for Mongoose and is on the Swiss cycling team. All of these country-related teams have to do with the Olympics, so all of these women obviously are trying to go for the Olympics, and why wouldn't you? Before we talk about anyone else, I feel like maybe the Olympics is even a bigger deal for women BMX riders because it's going to be the biggest stage that they could possibly get to reach the most people and get more women into BMX. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I feel like maybe women BMX riders care more about getting other women and girls into riding BMX than dude BMX riders do. I think maybe the guy BMX riders kind of let the ego get in the way rather than just the good of BMX and getting as many people into it as possible. So I really think that the Olympics are going to be huge for women riders, and hopefully it gets them some more of the exposure that they absolutely deserve and kind of really aren't getting from mainstream BMX, at least not up until this point. It seems like more and more every day, though, they're getting the recognition that they deserve. We've also got people like Teresa Williams, who ride for Vans Europe, TSG, and Fly Bikes, and Nina Butrago, who's been in BMX since before I was even riding. She rides for T1. There's a huge list. Empire, Fox Women's, ProTech, Coffee Company, Oakley, Vans, all of this craziness. I forgot to say that Teresa is obviously from Europe. So all of these people all around the world are getting recognition within BMX. So I really just wanted to give the entire beginning of this news show to women BMX riders everywhere and just let you know that I see you at least, and maybe more of BMX should see you. Hopefully this video can help out with that. I've linked all of the women's Instagrams in the description below, as well as links to everything else that I'm going to talk about today below for you guys to find if you're interested in any of that. And I just want to point out real quick that these were just the first people that came to mind whenever I was getting ready for the news video. There are legitimately a ton of other women shredders out there who are killing it that aren't being recognized by BMX literally at all, that you can check out all over the internet. These were just the first ones that popped into my head that rode for big name companies currently right now. So from there, I want to move from something extremely awesome to something not awesome at all. Honestly, it's awesome that we're helping these people, but the situations that arose to make them need this help is not awesome whatsoever. The first is Phil Jones needing our help with some medical bills. He had a crash at his local pump track and had some like seriously serious injuries. He fractured his skull and sinus and suffered a brain bleed. So he also actually lost his hearing in his right ear, which is a huge deal because he had a previous accident that made him lose his hearing in his left ear. So this one has left him completely deaf. So someone made a GoFundMe for him and for his support. So if you want to check that out, there is a link in the description below. And then after that, BMX legend Joe Rich also had an unfortunate situation where he had a motocross crash, and Empire BMX printed some shirts with a picture of him on it to sell in support of his medical bills. There is a pre-order going on right now through March 31st, and then this shirt will be available through mid-April, with all support going towards Joe Rich. They're printed on American Apparel, so you know it's going to be a good shirt, and they're only $20. So if you guys want to support a BMX legend or Phil Jones who really could use it, like I said before, you know where to find the links. And this brings us into the juicy sponsorship news for this week. There's some huge stuff going on. The first thing is that Stevie Churchill is off Federal Bikes and on Stranger. So he already rode for Primo. He was already close with Rich Hirsch because of that. So now he's off Federal, instantly on Stranger. And I mean, whatever floats his boat. I think a lot of people have very strong opinions on this, and Stranger seems to be scooping up. Stranger and Primo are scooping up every single big name rider who gets off of a sponsorship, and it kind of feels like they're putting themselves in a position to have a super team if it keeps going, because Hobie Doan is also off of his sponsor S&M, and it looks like he might go to Stranger as well. He was recently added to Primo, and this situation with S&M is like very much a surprise to him. There was an Instagram post that is now deleted where it made it very obvious that it was a surprise, and now S&M is selling what was going to be his signature frame with a different name. So I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to make any assumptions. I'm just going to say it seems very unexpected, and I don't know if any information is going to come out about it. I think we're just going to move on and see what happens in the future with this. And then after that, we had a video welcoming this guy whose name I'm not about to butcher to ParBMX, and that wraps up sponsor news and brings us into contest and jam news. The first thing here is pretty exciting. It's that the 2019 Vans BMX Pro Cup Tour dates and locations were announced, and they are April 12th and 13th in Sydney, Australia, June 14th through 16th in Stuttgart, Germany. Then we've got August 16th through 18th in Mexico City, Mexico, followed by September 13th through 15th in Huntington Beach, California. This is another thing that has a women's class, and the women are absolutely killing it in here and representing themselves within BMX, which is another thing that I should point out and is very awesome. These have been amazing events in BMX, so I'm excited to see everything that goes on. And I actually have a few friends who are going to be competing in a few of these, so I'm excited to see that as well. After that, we've got the FISE Battle of the Champions highlights from Saudi Arabia. This one had Brandon Lupos taking the win, with Logan Martin taking second, and local Ohio dude Nick Bruce taking third. And that's pretty awesome, because this is all of the best in the FISE contest all together competing against each other on level that's like way up here. It's totally insane. After that, we have the first piece of Battle of Hastings news that I think I have to talk about. Maybe there's some other small stuff, but this is the first piece of content. There's a quick video with Isaac Lesser where they told him that he was going to be a team captain for the Battle of Hastings this year. And you can tell how genuinely excited he was for it. And if you don't remember, he was on the winning team from last year, so it's pretty awesome to see him as a captain for this year, and seeing his reaction to them telling him was pretty cool as well. Oh, you have to watch this video. The history lesson last week went so well that I texted Montana Ricky and asked him what video I should talk about this week. He said a Metro Jam contest video. So I picked the 2004 Props Issue 52 Toronto Metro Jam video. Basically, all I'm going to say is that you have to watch this video. I still have chills on my arm from how insane this video is. The one that I freaked out about the most just now was Doyle doing a gigantic hurricane on a sub, and then Corey Martinez, I believe it is, doing a tuck no-hander to ice pit grind gap that's like absolutely insane. If you think BMX is crazy today, look at this video and watch how insane things were 15 years ago when all of these dudes got together. So many big names in this video. You got Gary Young, Van Homan, Brian Foster, Corey Martinez, Tobias Wicki, Jim Selinsky, Brian Vowell, Adam Banton, so many people. Dave Asado. There's a dude in there, Dustin Gunther, I'm not sure. He did gigantic stuff. Basically, if you haven't gotten hyped enough yet, watch this video, learn a little bit about BMX history, and see the insanity that went down at the Metro Jam. We need more of this, and stuff like the Toyota Triple Challenge where Trey Jones just built a bunch of random ramps and put them together is what is going to make things like Toronto Jam happen again. And that brings us into the videos from this week. The only reason I talked about that one in Contest and Jam is because it was a contest and a jam. But for the first video, it came out last Friday right after I got done with the news video, so you've probably already seen it, and that is Jacob Cable's Technically Speaking video from Odyssey. Technically speaking, he did every single technical trick that you can speak of. It's basically one of the most technical, insane videos that you'll ever watch, and the backwards ice at the end of it, if you haven't seen it yet, is just a reason to watch this video. And since I've talked in depth about so many other things already this week, I'm just gonna give you guys a list of videos that you might want to watch. The first one is Mike Stahl's 2019 video from S&M. Then we had A Nearly Vacation from Dig. This one features a ton of riders. It's got Anthony Perrin, Joris Klom, I can't talk, Alex Kennedy, and a bunch of other people in this video, and tons of awesome clips. We've got one from some of the Merritt and BMXFU guys riding on the ramps that they have in that little warehouse space in Buffalo, followed by a How to Feeble Hard 180 from Anthony Panza, and a video called FBM Travel Advisory 17 South, where they drive down 17 South and get into whatever they get into and ride whatever they want to ride along the way. And before we get into the product news this week, we've got one bike check to talk about. This one comes from Kostya Adreev, and it's his 2019 video bike check. He uploaded it to his YouTube channel, and it's all in Russian, so it might be a little bit hard to follow if you speak English. Either way though, it's there if you want to check it out. And that brings us into the product news from this week. The first thing I want to talk about is a Kareemsworld video where he talks about the evolution of BMX bikes. He goes through and talks about how a lot of different bike parts have changed. There's not a ton of detail in here, but there's personality and it's entertaining, so I thought maybe you'd want to check it out. After that, Nathan Williams' signature Kink frame and bars are now available. You can check out the link in the description for the specs of the frame, but there's a few standout things I want to mention. First of all, it fits 2.5 tires. Basically, it could be a monster truck. Second, it's got anti-slip knurling on the dropout, which is kind of a cool idea. And third, it's got this Kink logo badge inlay on the seat stay bridge, which looks pretty cool. It comes in ED black, Colorado yellow, and translucent blue, and it's available right now. Aside from the geometry, the bars really don't have any features to them that stand out like the ones that are on the frame, so you can check those out in the description below. They come in black, chrome, and gold, and it's kind of interesting that they don't have colors that match the frame exactly. After that is the Holy Diver frame from S&M. This was supposed to be Hobie Doan's signature frame, but obviously he's not riding for S&M anymore, and the frames were already made, so now they are the Holy Diver frame. This frame has a little bit more of an aggressive street geometry compared to S&M's other frames, so if that's what you're into and you wanted an S&M frame, there is an option available now, and it comes in a pretty cool looking translucent turquoise color. I don't really know how to tell you to find this frame other than following what's in the caption on this photo and to hit up your local bike shop to see one firsthand. After that, we've got Odyssey bringing back their Mexican blanket seat, where there is no color choice for this one, and no two seats are exactly alike because they're all made from fragments and pieces of a Mexican blanket pattern. Then we've got a sneak peek on the Relic flat out tire. There's really no details about this one as far as size, price, and weight goes. All we know is that it's going to be available in August and that it looks very, very similar to the Primo V Monster tire. So if you like the Primo tire and you can't find it anymore, in August, you'll have a new option. And the last thing I want to talk about this week is the new double bubble colorway from Shadow. This will be available on all of their grips and on the Surface in Ravager plastic pedals. And obviously, it looks like double bubble bubblegum. And that's going to do it for this week's BMX news video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. And if you have any thoughts, comments, or opinions on anything that I talked about today, mainly let's talk about the fact that women riders in BMX are absolutely killing it. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And I will see you next time for another video, because I do these every Friday, as well as a tips and tricks video on Tuesday and other types of riding videos and streams throughout the week. And I also just started a trails series, which you can check out as my previous video. I want to thank you guys for choosing to spend your time to watch this video and hang out with me, and we'll see you tomorrow for another video. Thanks again, and goodbye.